I was perusing some Facebook voiceover groups the other day, and one of the posts was from a woman who was absolutely adamant that she had done something terribly wrong and needed to figure out what it was so she could correct it because she wasn't getting much work these days. She'd gotten a lot of work before, but not so much these days. What has she done wrong? And it caused me to immediately think of the stock market. And I'll tell you why in this episode of the VO Heroes podcast. We tend to think that there are some processes and systems and progressions in life where you can predict what will happen based on what has already happened. As we get good at things, we can predict that we'll continue to be successful with those things. But they're usually things that we have a lot of control over. So if we get better at editing, we can assume that we'll continue to be good at editing, and there won't be a day when we forget all about how editing works. Or if we're good at a particular accent and we get better and better at that accent and other accents, we can pretty much assume that we'll continue to have a successful approach when performing those accents. And that's pretty much true in a lot of the different things that we do in our business as performers. But there are some areas where our business doesn't operate that way at all, and that there is a parallel in the world of stocks and bonds, investments. And when I heard what she was asking and how she was asking it, she was asking it in a way like this. I was doing great for like 2-3 years. I had client after client after client, job after job after job. I was scheduled out months in advance, and all of a sudden now, for the last 8 months or so, I can't even get arrested. I got nothing. I've been auditioning my butt off. I can't get booked for anything. And it reminded me of a phrase that is often used by investors, people that train others on how to handle investments and the mindset around investing. And that is that past performance has no bearing on future performance. In fact, that's an actual legal warning that you get when you're being presented with the opportunity to invest in something like a stock or a bond whose price and value fluctuates over time. You can listen to some investment guru who says, oh yeah, I've outperformed the market for years. And next year, they won't, because whatever happened in the past has no bearing whatsoever on what might happen immediately or in the future. And that is exactly how our business works. You can talk to any A-list actor, and with very few exceptions, they all have versions of the story of, yeah, I was like the it girl or the popular guy or the flavor of the day for like 2-3 years. And then I didn't do any work for a long time. I was back to auditioning. I was off of offer only. Where when you're on offer only, you don't audition for anything. You're fending off offers. Your agents and your managers are trying to figure out what you should do, what would be best for your career. You have so many opportunities. And they all have kind of versions of this story of everything just dried up, and I don't know what caused that. Now, it's possible there are some performers who have really, stepped into it and done something really stupid, and they can't book anything because of their personal lives or comments they decided to make or actions they decided to take or a few drinks they decided to ingest where they maybe shouldn't have. But for the most part, there is no good answer to the question of, what am I doing wrong? What did I do wrong to stop myself from booking? I was on a roll, and then all of a sudden, dead silence. And you have to bear in mind that that is a feature. You can call it a bug if you want to, but it's not correctable. It's not updatable. And it's never going to change for most people. There will be moments where you have absolute nothingness going on in your life, and you need to be able to handle that. You need to be able to explain to those to whom you're responsible, your family, your close friends, your peers, people in productions with you, and so on, your representation. They know that. Everybody knows that to a degree, but they kind of get this selective amnesia when it happens to them. Like, what did I do? What did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. Just remember, past performance has nothing to do with future performance. And it's kind of interesting that perform is part of that phrase. So the next time you think you've done something wrong, probably not true. What's happening is life. Life is getting lifey. I heard somebody say that the other day, and I don't remember who it was, but when I do, I'll give you credit. Life was being lifey, and that's it. That's it. It happens. We have ups and we have downs, just like the stock market, and usually it's not you doing something wrong. I would add the coda that if you can't get started doing something, you can't get traction, you can't get any success at all ever, it may be because you need better training, or you need to adjust your performance, or you need to do something that gets you going. I don't know. Maybe. But don't blame yourself. Give yourself a break. It's not you. It's what people need to get their jobs done in their productions at this particular point hasn't included you yet. Because remember, there's also that moment that occurs when things do start working and you do start booking and things are awesome. I don't think anybody goes on Facebook group and complains at that point, what did I do right? What happened here? This is awful. Or how do I repeat that? How do I reproduce that? It's all very capricious. And you just have to be at peace with that. And I hope you are. Let me know in the comments below how you feel. Do you feel like a failure? Or do you think to yourself, well, this is just the way my business is? And by the comments below, I mean over on VOHeroes.com. I'd really appreciate it if you went over there. That'd be great. I'd love to know what you think about this, because it's one of those things that can really kill you in terms of your emotions and your mental health and your ability to relate to other people. I want the best for you for that. So let me know. Let's talk about it. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I thank you so much for watching and for listening. And I will see you in the next episode of the VO Heroes podcast.